using AEM Mobile, and it's a great story. It's a customer-facing app. They are having a lot of success with. We're going to talk through basically the business results and kind of the business case for why they built this app and how they used AEM Mobile to do so. And Salvatore is actually going to show us the app as part of his presentation. Later in the download pod, you're going to see links to the app so you could actually download it. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Android Store, so something to think about, getting that installed on your device. And then we'll move into the last part of the presentation today. We're going to show you how to create an app using AEM Mobile. So that's where Digitas comes in. We have Zaid and Harrison today giving us an overview of their services, what they offer. They're one of Adobe's leading technology partners around AEM and AEM Mobile, so I think you'll get a lot out of hearing from them and having them actually show under the hood what our AEM mobile product can do. So with that, I want to hand it off to Chris and get him started talking a bit about mobile landscape for financial services.
Thanks, Bridget. I just want to make sure everyone can hear me before I get started. But what I'm going to do is start where Adobe always starts, right, is this idea that experiences matter more than ever. So why? Because we live in a new mobile reality, all of which that everyone here knows, where interactions across multiple fragmented devices and operating systems in the context of where these interactions take place are constantly changing. So standout and effective experiences have become more critical than ever in today's market landscape. Now, in this experience era, it will be mobile-led. So I'm not going to necessarily belabor all of these points that all of you are very familiar with, and these points will continue to accelerate. But what is driving this experience era will be mobile experiences. And let me dig in a bit further. What's happening, at least in the financial services industry, are three things. One, as you know, the demographics of your customers are changing. And even 10 years from now, there's going to be a significant transition of wealth from currently who are your best customers to this. I'm talking about millennials. I'm talking about even Generation Z, for that matter. And the expectation of these individuals makes its way towards digital in terms of highly mobile, highly personalized mobile experiences. So there's a rapid shift to digital and mobile. And I promise you, somewhere in that middle picture is someone holding a mobile phone. They're just a little bit off camera right now, but someone's holding a mobile phone there. And then last but not least are companies, fintech startups, established technology companies, say maybe like Google or Apple or Amazon, that recognize this and are developing solutions that aren't encumbered by organizational structure or legacy systems. They are born mobile ready. They're born mobile first and millennial ready. So these are the things that will ultimately put pressure on you to deliver these superior connected experiences, especially through mobile. Now, when I have discussions with our financial services customers, that it tends to find its way into the connection between the offline distribution channels that you still rely on today, whether branches or advisors or agents, call centers, and digital. But the reality is that there's a fragmentation within your primary digital channel as well. So specifically, your ability to identify the same individual in these three key areas, where your technology or marketing resides, the ownership of these channels, the jurisdiction of who can start manipulating, changing, optimizing, and engaging customers. These are fragmented. And it starts with your digital marketing capabilities, for those of you on the phone that are focused on marketing. And a lot of that resides within public sites. That when it comes to mobile, if you look at the kind of tried and true areas of digital marketing capability, the ability to manage content, the ability to target and test and optimize and analyze what's happening in these channels. This is a 2016 study that we did with over 330 financial services executives around the world, and this is what they told us. So in terms of mobile sites, which is the blue line, 51% or lower, basically half or lower, have these capabilities within their mobile site, mobile web experiences. When it comes to mobile apps, it's far, far worse, right? So now we're looking at even 32% or lower. And if you think about some of the largest financial institutions in the world and what they're trying to focus on, right, which is deepening relationships with existing customers, if you think about where your customers are going to be or currently moving towards or going to be spending the vast majority of their time, it's on a mobile phone. And if it's an existing customer, it's within your mobile app. So these are capabilities that need to make their way into your mobile experiences. If you think about digital sales, so for those of you that are more in retail financial services institutions, property and casualty insurance, retail brokerages, and banks, you're thinking about sales, right, and digital contribution to the overall growth of your customer base and the products and services that you offer. So the question was, same survey, 330 individuals in financial services, what will be the role of mobile and new account origination over the next 3 years? 30% limited, 32% equal to, 24% major, 15% primary, but in lump sum, 70% of the responders believe that the mobile channel will be equal to or a higher source of these new accounts in the next 3 years. So it's very significant if you think about what the application experience is like on your mobile devices today. Even further, right, in terms of the importance of marketing within mobile apps. So specific to mobile applications, that's the question. This is out of a digital maturity survey. This is a cut of only the financial services responders. It was, over 115. How important are each of the following in your organization's 2016 optimization efforts? So the top 3 responses, top 2 bots: marketing automation, conversion metrics, and campaign acquisition. So again, think about where your customers are spending most of their time, the technology you have in place or not to engage them, the pressure that will be coming from mobile, and then all of a sudden the importance and need to have these types of measurements and capabilities, not just from a mobile sense, if you look at attribution, but mobile in its role within all other channels that you're trying to engage and interact and improve your customers' lives. So then even if you are from a company that does not necessarily sell direct to consumers, you work with advisors or brokers or agents. This is a bit of a build, so let me just extend this. We asked in the same financial services survey, what digital methods do you use to enable your broker and advisor networks today? If you look solely at future priorities, within the top 4 were mobile tablets to engage and interact in client-facing apps and presentations and mobile-optimized content. So again, don't necessarily think mobile broadly, right, in terms of maybe transactional applications that you're using if you're a retail financial institution. The digital content and tools and resources that you enable your advisors to interact more effectively with their customers, and even internal applications. How do you train folks in the call center, people in branches, advisors? How do you train and educate them on your products and services and to track all of that activity that's happening? So think broadly in terms of mobile as application to your respective businesses. And when you think about what Adobe does, and this is the only slide I'm really going to talk about, what we do for mobile is what we do today for the desktop. So you might be using any of these combination of areas of our focus. All of it, the same underlying technology extends into mobile. So how you create specific applications, whether they're content-based, enablement, internal-based, transactional-based, if you have 15 existing apps, how you manage the content of those apps, because that is a challenge, how you measure and get very specific metrics on the performance of your mobile app, as well as testing and optimizing, and not just marketing that you see here, but also the experience itself. Navigation, tools, resources, how are they placed? You can continue to improve and evolve the performance of your mobile app, just as you've been doing on the web for years. Second to last but not least is, again, this idea of thinking more broadly in terms of the applications of mobile to transform your respective businesses. As I was saying, the ability to train your employees, transactional-based application, thought leadership that you can provide, and what we'll discuss in the second presentation, content and thought leadership that you can provide to your individual investors, customers if you have them, even other advisors or institutions. Educational tools, as I mentioned before, even when you come to the insurance side of the house, tools that insurance claim adjusters can use that are connected to all the other digital experiences that they might leverage or you use, claim documentation, and of course the management and enhancement of existing applications. So before I turn it over to our back to Bridget, and probably why you're all here to hear from BNP Paribas, I want to leave you with three things, three takeaways. So one, if you are in a retail financial services institution, you know this, I know this, that you have to evolve beyond pure transactions into experiences that actually, that help not only outcomes for your consumer, but help them understand the importance of other products and services and where they can fit those products and services can fit into their financial lives. Second, to do that, you need to extend the marketing capabilities that you have today into the mobile app. Many of the Adobe solutions that you own today, same technology can extend into the mobile app to improve the mobile application experience, but also make a better connection between the other digital channels that you are optimizing, managing content for, and measuring. And then last but not least, as I was saying before, when you think about apps, think internal as much as you do external. I think that the employee is sometimes forgotten in terms of when we talk about personalization and improving experiences. You could think just as much internally as externally. And if you have internal employees that deal with end customers, even more important. So with that, I'll turn it back to you, Bridget. And again, thank you everyone for joining today.
Thanks so much, Chris. That was great information to have, and I think it's a terrific segue into our next speaker. So we have Salvatore Vidal coming to us from Paris today, BNP Paribas. He is the director and the global head of products and services marketing, and has really spearheaded the creation of a new mobile app that is a B2C experience designed to educate and inform their clients. So you'll be hearing a thread. I think a lot of what Chris was talking about is going to be repeated in Salvatore's presentation as he walks us through their business and how they're using mobile apps to engage their clients, analytics, and things like that. So Salvatore, welcome, and I'm going to hand it off to you.
Thank you very much, Bridget. Hello, everybody. Good morning. I think it's a good evening here where I am in Paris, but the day is starting good for everybody with this presentation. What I'm going to do is briefly to talk to you about what we're doing and showing you an example of one app that we've created that deals with content exclusively. And for you to understand why we've done it, I'm going to give you a few details on who we are and what we do, so you can understand a bit better why we engage in the path that we engage. In the end, I will give you also some insights on what are the difficulties that we had to face to build all this, and difficulties that we have to face still every day, and how we manage to overcome them, and also a bit of a view on the benefits that we've found to do that. Okay, so if it's okay with you, take in the hand, and the slide should slide, but it doesn't. There we are, perfect. So, Bridget, I'm sorry, but it's very long, and it doesn't seem to slide when needed.
Oh, okay. I'm happy to advance them for you. There you go.
Okay, perfect. So I'll tell you when to advance. No problem. Thank you very much. So I'm working in the private bank branch of our organization. BNP Paribas Group is the leading European bank, so we do all kind of banking, and I'm working in the wealth management. So we deal with wealthy individuals mostly. We're one of the top 10 wealth managers in the world, depending on the rankings and the awards that we're receiving every year. But what's important for us is not that. What's important for us is that it gives us a position to be very resilient. And private banking business is a business that goes on for decades for our clients. So they must be sure that we'll be there in decades and that creates trust for us. So that's one of the key points on who we are. The second thing is that we have an integrated business model, and what it means is that as we're a part of a larger group that can provide any kind of financial services you might imagine, we must be able to take those financial services and to provide them to our clients. So that's one of the key things that our clients expect from us. Another thing is that every private client is different, and with the level of wealth that they have, they expect a high level of personalization. And that is very complicated for us because we're dealing with all kinds of segments. We have clients that have a wealth of $1 million. We have clients that have a wealth of $1 billion. And we must provide them the kind of services that they're expecting. And we're operating from physically more than 30 countries, and our clients come from more than 90 countries. So this is a real challenge for us to be able to personalize what we build, and especially the content for them. And last but not least, of course, the expertise that we need to do that has to go beyond the expectations of the client. When you have very wealthy clients that can buy nearly everything that exists in the world, then the limit of what you can do is only their imagination, and we must be there to really accompany them to in fulfilling their dreams. On the next slide, you'll find, well, I'm not going to comment it, but it's just an illustration on all the segments and the kind of services that we provide to our clients. What's really important is that our clients are looking for wealth preservation, and as I said before, that goes on for decades. We're looking on the long term here. So our challenge is to be consistent, and to be consistent over time, that means being able to give them an experience that is consistent over very, very, very big periods of time on the long term. And that's where content is really important. Nice, good content is what we need to bring this consistency to our clients. And of course, when we build this content, we face challenges. Those are one of the three of the biggest challenges that we face. The first one is that we are a big producer of content. We produce the equivalent of 23,000 pages a year. That's written pages, so that's huge. And the consequence it has is that we actually have needs that are closer to the publishing industry than to the banking industry. So in looking for tools and processes to build this amazing volume of content, we need to look at what the publishing industry does and not really what banks does. So that's one of the reasons why we're partnering and using Adobe solution, who's a leader in that field. The second challenge that we have is that it's called a private banker. Well, that's a part of the model in which the client always speaks to a private banker, to one person, and this person opens the whole bank to the client. Now, for the content, it goes the other way around. We very rarely communicate directly to the client. Everything that we produce goes through the private banker and then to the client. But it introduces delays because the private banker sometimes has other things to do, like taking care of other clients, and introduces some filters because sometimes the private bankers like to talk about some other subjects than the ones we want them to speak to the client. So this private banking industry has this private banker figure that is a challenge in terms of distributing content. And the last one is one thing that you all have. It's called regulation. It's a fast-changing environment, the one in which we're all working in the finance field. Regulation is getting tougher for us. It's in the good interest of the clients because it's mostly aimed to make banking safer for them, but the implication it has for us is that we have to find new content to build. We have to face new kind of challenges to distribute this content, and we must find new methods to distribute the content. So everything, all this, makes for the need to and we can go to the next slide, to build a new digital ecosystem. The 23,000 pages I was speaking about, 2 or 3 years ago, we're producing them exclusively on paper. Now we've built a new ecosystem that includes web capabilities, social media capabilities, and tablet there, but it means apps capabilities. And we speak about an ecosystem because our goal is to make everything work together. So not creating 3 new different silos, but to complement what we produced on paper, to transform it, to enhance it, and to distribute it, it has a new ecosystem. So the next part of the presentation is to show you one part of this ecosystem, which is an app that's available for tablets and smartphones, iOS and Android. You can download it. It's called Voice of Wealth, and it's an app that is purely based on content. We're not selling anything else than thought leadership, actually. So let me switch to my screen. So you're going to see exactly what I see on my desktop. So here you are. There. Sorry for the mess. There you are. So you should see now what I see on my iPad. You can see the icon. I'm going to open it. There you are. Perfect. So it's a very simple app that is, as I said, entirely focused on bringing content to our clients. What I'm going to do now is to show you some examples of what we're producing, how we implement it in the app, and why it's useful for our clients to have it. So as you can see, it's not very complicated. We wanted to have it quite simple. It's made of different sections that are quite clear. I'm going to run you through some of them. The first one that you can see on the left side is the news. Well, our clients expect from us, when something important happens in the finance industry, to take position, to analyze the situation, and to give them our analysis on what's happening. Well, you can see an article from last week about what happened in the Fed. You absolutely followed what happened. So this is our analysis on that, and we published it directly, very quickly after what happened in the Fed, with the Fed. So you can see the historic of all the news there. You can have access to all the history of the news that we produced. Because of this webinar, I've blocked the publication of news now, but if you come back to the app a bit later in the day or tomorrow, you're going to see a couple of articles more to be published there. So this news part is more of what we can call, it's a newspaper. So it's when we have something to say that's hot, the hot news goes there. What's interesting is that when we have a group of hot news that we can group as a team, we make it. And that's what you find there in the top stories. You see the top stories about the Brexit. I'm going to click on there. And we very easily have the possibility to group news that share a common theme and to put them all together. So you can have there all the information that we published and to see all the data and our knowledge and our analysis on one particular theme. So the Brexit happened quite some time ago now. But we're seeing with the analytics that we have lots of users that keep reading those stories, so that's why we keep this Brexit theme there for the moment. So that's one way of making our content a bit more consistent and interesting, is to follow the analytics and to drive our content based on that. A bit more on that later. Now I'm going to focus on the 3 parts that you can see in the middle of the screen. One's called decoding, the second exploring, and the third one, understanding. The decoding one, there you are, is very financial. It takes news that you've seen just now. It gives us the possibility to put some video on it. So we produce, for example, a video every month. That's 1 minute to 2 minutes. And in there you can see very, very shortly what are the main themes of what's happening in the market right now. We use it for tweeting it, so you have a direct link with our ecosystem, our social media ecosystem, and you can have. I'm gonna cut it now. I'll let you look through it afterwards. But you see that that's also something that we've added in the app and with digital ecosystem. It's the possibility to produce and to distribute more than paper very easily, and to put it all together in the same place so it makes sense actually. So decoding the market, it's about exactly that. Decoding what's happening in the financial markets. Our clients expect a bit more, and that's what we find in the exploring part there. Now, I've spoken about the news as the newspaper part of the app. This exploring topics part would be more the magazine part of the app. There are several themes that are very dear to our clients. You can see one there, which is philanthropy. Wealthy clients do care a lot about philanthropy, and we're one of the leaders in that field. So we produce, for example, a report, an annual report with Forbes, the Individual Philanthropy Index with Forbes, that we share with our clients directly there. So now you see it's not like the news you've seen before. It's richer, it has more beautiful content, but it's also longer. So it's actually like reading a real magazine. This report, for example, is the equivalent of 30 to 40 pages long. It's dynamic. You can see I'm clicking on different parts of the screen, and well, everything is adapted. There you are. I'm going to show you something else. Here, for example, we have the possibility to have interviews. We make it, the level of quality and is a bit higher than in the news, because also we have more time to produce this document, so we can publish them with a higher level of quality. So you see, philanthropy is a theme that is interesting for our clients. I'm going to browse them. Entrepreneurs is also something, it's one segment that we're very, very interested in, and our clients are also very interested in thinking what's happening in the entrepreneur world. Real estate, the investment themes for the year. And one thing that's quite cool actually, where that's one of the particularities that we have as a French bank, French bank in origins, it's called Agri-France. So actually, our clients are very interested in investing in the rural field. They are buying fields, and also with fields, you can see one thing here, you can buy vineyards. So you can imagine for a wealthy client that can buy everything, how cool it is for them to buy a vineyard in France and be actually able to produce their wine. That's the kind of service that we provide to the clients. So we can, here we inform the clients on, you see, the wine production in the world, what was 2015, was it good for the different kind of wines that you can find in France, etc., etc. This is something that very wealthy clients, especially in Asia, fancy a lot. And it's quite cool, and someday I hope I can buy a vineyard myself. So that's for exploring a topic. So you see, we have more space to give more in-depth content that we're creating, not only financial news. So we're digging into the experience, as Chris was saying. The last part is called understanding, and that is directly linked to the evolutions that we can see in the regulatory world. For private clients, in a lot of countries, especially the European countries, starting next year, regulation is changing, and we must make sure that our clients absolutely understand the financial products in which they invest in, which is a very good thing. Now, the level of education that we must provide to the client to be sure that they can invest in some financial instruments has gone up dramatically, and the time to adapt to that has been very short. So we've created this part there to educate the client. So actually the education of the client can be something very simple. You can see here, investing in equities. There's a document there. I'll start at the beginning. Here we are. And in the document, we explain from the very beginning what is an equity. So it's equity 101. It becomes more complex when you go through the document, but we must be able to provide the clients with those kind of documents, this kind of content, so we're absolutely sure that when they invest in equities, we tick the regulatory requirements that we have and that the clients have. So it's actually, without this, we'll be stopping dealing in equities for some of our clients starting next year. So there's a clear link with business, but actually it's more about educating our clients. So we've built lots of pieces of content. You see the equities, the funds, structured products, more are coming in fixed income, the forex, etc., etc. And we're adding this content very regularly to the app so we can use it with our clients to make sure that they do the best business they can with us. And we also have a section called Meet the Experts. There's the last thing I'm going to show you. There we are, in which our experts very regularly explain. They just explain one thing, how to take exposure to credit via structured products. We have the head of the structured products, Natalie, who's explaining what is a credit structured product, how to use it, what kind of risk you have, etc., etc. So once again, the education part is key there. But it allows us to do something else, which is to mix the app with the rest of the ecosystem. Let me give you an example. We have an education program for women entrepreneurs that we set up 2 years ago with Stanford. This year, during the summer, so very recently, we had 30 women that were entrepreneurs sent to this program in Stanford. So this article is actually speaking about what they did and et cetera, et cetera. But the real information is in the website. So actually, I click on the link, on one of the links over there, and I'm going to be sent to the website. There you are. Take out the menus, so clear, there you are. Now you have all the information you need about the program. What happened, what we did, why important, why we think it's important, and why we put lots of resources to that. And of course, more information about what happened over there and what we're doing with entrepreneurs everywhere. So you see the integration with the website is completely seamless. You switch from the app to the website. We have the same kind of functionalities with our social media, with Twitter, with LinkedIn especially, and it all works seamless in the app. So we completely embrace what Chris was saying before. We do not see the apps, the websites, the social media as different silos. We manage them all together as part of a single ecosystem. So enough with the app, because the time is going. Do not hesitate to download it. It's available worldwide, so you can absolutely download and browse it. And if you have comments, do not hesitate to contact me. We can go back to the presentation. I'm going to stop sharing the screen. Here you are. Okay, now a bit of behind the scenes. We're a bank, we're not a fintech. So as you can imagine, we were not organized to build all this. So we needed to do something about it without changing the whole organization. European banks tend to change the organization a bit slower than, for example, US banks. So it wasn't possible to change everything at the speed that we needed to create all this. So we pulled all the resources, and we can go to the next slide. We pulled all the resources that we needed, coming basically from marketing, from the communications teams, and from the digital teams. We put them all together, and during 6 months, we built a digital lab. So it's more or less 40 people with the right skills. I mean, they know marketing, they know their field, but they don't know anything about creating, they didn't know anything about creating apps and websites, etc., etc. We gave them 6 months, a few tasks to do, and we let them learn, test, try things, break things. We built a partnership with Adobe to help us technologically to find the right solutions that we needed. And at the end of the 6 months, we were able to create our strategy. We were able to learn what we needed. We were able to see that the people that were in-house were the right people to keep working on that and build the ecosystem that I've been speaking about. But it takes 6 months, and it takes a bit of managerial courage to break the silos of marketing, comms, and digital, put them all together, pull the resources, and then be able to build all that. That's for building. That's one thing. But then we needed to keep it running. So a little behind the scenes about the app and how it's running. Behind the app, you have 3 people. You don't have steering committees. You don't have lots of people. You don't have IT. You have 3 people. You have 1 person from my team, marketing, where you have 1 person from communications and 1 person from digital. There are actually 3 women that do an amazing job, and basically what we did was give them the keys of the app. They're responsible for the content, they're responsible for the development, they're responsible for taking the app to the next level, and basically I just write the checks. So that's also one kind of organization that is very far from what we do in the rest of the bank. Which doesn't work this way, you can imagine, and you know, I'm sure, in your organizations. We're very close to what fintechs or startups do. We create a bubble, we put this team inside, we give them the keys to the app, and we let them do their job the best they can. And actually, we're very proud, and the results and the benefits that we are having from the app is amazing. So far, this year already, we've launched the app this year, we've seen our print budget go down by 20% right away, because we stopped producing lots of the papers and we put lots of content directly to the app. So that's one key element that we're very happy about it, is to reduce costs on something that is a bit outdated. The second thing is that we're building a new kind of marketing, which is data-driven, which is analytics-driven. I've been speaking about it a bit before. So that's a new thing for us, and that's one key benefit. It's allowing us to evolve in the marketing field. The last one is an example. I spoke about the private banker and the filter that the private banker plays in distributing content. So previously, we had to have someone write text or a document, then put it into a PDF, then mail it to the bankers, and then the bankers hopefully would mail it to the client. It could take anywhere from 1 hour to never, to the eternity. Some of the content was stuck at this level, at the private banker's level, and never went to the client. Now with the ecosystem that we build, and especially the app, we can ensure that within 15 minutes of writing content, it's published. It's in your hands if you have the app and if you're a user of the app. That's a huge, huge, huge benefit. Now, last, and it's going to be my conclusion, one word for the future. What we're heading into now is that we've built this ecosystem and we're actually learning right now how it works. So today we're pushing content to the app, we're pushing content to the website, to the social media based on our guts. I mean, they're educated guesses because we're professionals of the fields, but we don't know what is the impact that we're having with our content. So what we're doing now is to learning to master this ecosystem based mostly on analytics, pushing content in through different channels, and to measure where we do have the most impact. And that is shaping our marketing for the future. So that's it for me. Thank you very much. Do not hesitate to ask questions and contact me later on LinkedIn if you want. And well, I hand over the mic to you, Bridget.
Thank you so much. I wanted to let you know there are a couple of questions for you, Salvador, in the Q&A pod that you can respond to, and we're going to keep moving forward. Let's get those questions answered because they're really good ones. And I'm going to introduce our team from Digitas. We have roughly 15 minutes left to have this team walk us through AEM Mobile and how to create an app. You have just heard a great real-life story from one of our AEM Mobile customers. So now let's take a peek under the hood and see what it's all about. So Zaid, I'm going to hand it off to you, Senior VP of Technology from Digitas, and then you can hand off to Harrison.
Great. Thanks, everyone. The good news is you've made it past the halfway mark, so congratulations. I'm going to try to go through this quickly to focus more on the demo, which I'm sure you're all interested in. Can everyone hear me okay? I'm assuming yes. Okay, so a little bit about Digitas, for those of you that don't know. We are a global marketing and technology agency that primarily focuses on transforming business to digital age. We inject ourselves in any point of a digital transformation exercise for our customers. I'm happy to answer specific questions about what we do offline so we can keep moving with this presentation. We are part of Publicis Group, and part of the newly formed Publicis.Sapient Group, which encompasses Digitas LVI, Razorfish, Sapient Nitro, and our new business consulting practice. That's really the makeup. So I just wanted to give you a sense of who we are. One thing that's important to note is that we are also a Global Partner of the Year for Adobe. So we got that award last year. We're very proud of it. We're experts and certified experts in the Adobe Marketing Cloud landscape. And for this discussion, AEM Mobile was just an amazing product that we were able to use so quickly and easily that made everything easier for our customers. And we're going to walk you through what we did. Some stats: 44 offices, 7,000 people. 1,000 of those people are technologists, and we're in 26 different countries. Some of our capabilities, so we cover obviously everything that a global marketing and technology agency covers. I wanted to highlight a few things on this slide for the purpose of the demo. The user experience creative group, account management group, and the technology group. So what we did in this demo that you're about to see is we run hackathons. One-day hackathon, time-boxed, where we don't allow more than 3-4 hours worth of development. So whether you know the product, you have experience, or you don't, we put one member from each of those capabilities in a room, gave them a quick overview of the product. Some were skilled engineers, some were junior engineers. The rest of the folks had no idea what this product was, and we purposely did it that way. And we gave everyone 3-4 hours to actually go in and build a working native app. and the demo will show you is an outcome of about 3-4 hours worth of work. So again, I want to highlight the simplicity and ease of use of AEM Mobile. And you don't have to have AEM experience to actually build a mobile app, which is the beauty of the product. Some of our clients over here, again, this is for you to keep. And I've highlighted some specific Adobe Marketing Cloud clients here because all of these clients are interested in AEM Mobile, and when we showed them how easy it was to actually create a native app, within a few hours or within a week, they were just surprised. I do want to highlight what Chris said earlier, that it's really important to think of apps as internal and external, because internal is a huge opportunity for a lot of these large Fortune 500 companies. Some awards for you. Sorry, I had to put that in there. I'm very proud of the 5 Cannes Lions. And then again, going back to the hackathon, I just want to highlight one area here. We have native app experts. We didn't bring those people into those workshops on purpose. We didn't want them to do something better than anyone else or not. So we focused on just putting in one member from creative and the account team and the experience design team, and one engineer in that group, so that they can all go at pace and boxing them in to learn the product as quickly as possible. And I'm going to have Harrison go straight into the demo to show you what was done in that 3-hour time frame.
Hello everyone, I'm Harrison. I'm an engineer at Digitas LBI, working mainly in AEM around 3-4 years, and I'm just going to go straight into the demo. I've already set up a link, so I'm going to share my screen. I've set up a link between the normal AEM environment and AEM Mobile so that we can just start uploading content and start editing content. So I have an article here on this page, Save for Good. We created an app, proof of concept app during our hackathon, like Zaid said, and it centers around how to get people to start saving more and creating budgets and stuff like that. So we wanted to have an article to kind of display what we were trying to do. This is pretty bare bones, so as a copywriter, obviously I wouldn't want something to say something budget here, try this. So I've written some copy. I'm going to go into the article itself and edit it. Normal AEM fashion, if you know AEM, I can edit this text. Style it a little bit, add maybe change the font, and this is a little bit too small, so maybe I'll make it like 18. Maybe that's a little too big, so I will go make it smaller, hit the check mark, so that's saved. Oh, did it save? Ah, there it goes. So as you can tell, this is normal AEM editing. Now I'm going to refresh this page so that I know that works. I'm going to upload this into AEM Mobile, and that way that AEM Mobile knows it's changed. Allow that to load a little bit. And then after I'm done this, I'm going to hit pre-flight so that I can test the page on my mobile phone. I'm going to activate pre-flight, allow that to load a little bit, and while I'm on my phone, I'm going to reload my app and then go back to the article. And as you can see how quick and easy that was, I was able to edit content really quickly, upload it, like a few buttons, and voila. So for the second part of the demo, I'm going to play Designer and kind of change the layout a little bit. So for here, I'm going to change the background color, say that it's not brand loyal. So I'm going to change this to red. And then as this font, I don't want red on red. As a designer, you wouldn't want that. So I want it to be more legible. So I'm going to make it black. Maybe a little bit lighter. And then for these tile icons, they're a little small to be on mobile. So I'm going to make them a little bit bigger. And as you can see here, there's just clicks of buttons, and the UI itself just handles everything so nicely. Maybe 6. And then I will save that. Hit pre-flight. And then as that loads, I'll show you what it looks like. So before it looked like this, and as that loads, as you can see it says update available. I can click that and voila. So what the app is supposed to do, so now I'll go through the app a little bit just to talk about it. So as you click the coffee button, so these pages were built by us, more of a front-end developer. So a lot of these things were HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So we were able to, during Hackathon, compile the code and then import them into AEM Mobile. And that way, it was very, very simple. So like they said, in 3 to 4 hours, we have a native app. Obviously, it doesn't validate or do any data binding. However, it just works perfectly. So yeah, so we built in some inputs, we built in some buttons. If we could have used Cordova's APIs and build in more native functionality. If we have, like, instead of 3 or 4 hours, maybe 5 or 6. However, as you can see, using AEM Mobile, we were able to change design, layout, and edit content very quickly. So for that, that was just a little bit of a demo of what AEM Mobile can do. I'll hand it over back to Bridget.
Great, thank you. So we have a few minutes left. I wanted to, Anne, I know you're going to bring up some different as a follow-up to a lot of the content you've seen today, we are excited to offer another webinar. This is a short one, 30 minutes. So we just took a really, really lightweight look into AEM Mobile to kind of interest you and get some questions going. We've actually got some great questions in the Q&A pod. If you want to learn more about our solution and how it works, I recommend you can click on that Register Now button and sign up. It's a free 30-minute webinar to really learn more about how to create mobile apps. Harrison gave us a quick look at it. This will go a bit more into detail, and you'll learn about the key capabilities. There's so much more that the platform can do, and get some insight into pricing and deployment models. So definitely think about attending this webinar as a follow-up. And I also wanted to point out, before everybody leaves the webinar today, we have some great information here. So there are several downloads and links to take a look at. We do have, specifically for the financial services industry, we have a solutions brief that's a great overview of what our product is capable of for this particular industry. And there's a great customer success story document that has industry, across industries and across use cases. You can get a really great feel for other large brands that are using this platform and the success that they're seeing beyond what we've heard today from BNP Paribas. And then some other things, thinking about other case studies in the financial services space, some marquee customers of ours. We have a blog, and on that blog you can go and check out some information about Hartford Funds, Pacific Life, and others. I think there's also a great Lord Abbett story, and you'll get a feel for other use cases. So today we focus a lot on this B2C story from Salvador, but as Chris mentioned earlier, you've got to be thinking about those internal apps. So be sure to peruse the blog post to find out more about that. I think there's some great information there. And then also just so it's easy to get to, we've got links to the Voices of Wealth app that you saw today. So you can download it for an Android device or an Apple device. So be sure to check that out. And then I think we want to close up with some polls, Anne, so I'll hand it off to you. But before I do, I just want to once again thank everybody for attending and thank our excellent presenters today. I really appreciate the great insights you shared with us. Anne?
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Bridget. We can now transition over to our exiting layout. And if everyone could take a few moments just to answer some of the polling questions that came in, that would definitely be appreciated.
Has left the conference.
Once again, thank you all very much for joining us for today's AEM Financial Services webinar. We will see you at the next one, and please take a moment to answer the questions in our polls before we shut down the room, which we will do shortly. Thank you.